Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a max effort lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click a like down below, be greatly appreciated. Alright, I haven't done a max effort lower in 3 weeks. Haven't done one in 3 weeks, so I was a little worried when I walked this out and squatted it. This 471 on the safety bar, which it did go deep, sank it pretty dang deep. It felt really heavy. Right, it felt heavy. It felt like close to a max, very, very close to a max. But the funny thing is, I look at the footage and it just shot right up. It looks like a warm-up. So I think it's the case of I'm just not used to heavy weight after a few weeks. I'm going to have to adapt again, get used to it, get back into the flow of things, and I'll be good. So I also did a 2.5-inch deficit deadlift with the stiff bar, which is about the hardest variation of the deadlift I can do. I just did, after a couple warm-up reps, I did 495, put another 50 pounds on and did 545, which is 20 pounds under my best on this lift. Of course, I pulled 600 on a smaller deficit, but the deficit, the inches really, really add up. And this wasn't bad, but it's the same thing. I'm like, better call it quits there. Let's ease back into this max stuff. Again, looked really good on camera, but felt fairly heavy. Like it felt above 90%. So afterwards, I just did 3 supplemental lifts because I'm going to be adding in more and more GPP. There's a slight hang up with getting my prowler and my new reverse hyper. It was supposed to have shipped, but there's apparently a part still being manufactured, which is delayed shipping on the whole order. But, paid for it a couple weeks ago. But hey, when it gets here, it gets here. And in the meantime, I'm just going to use all the Good Mornings and Glute Ham Raises and stuff to build my posterior chain. I don't think it's going to get any weaker. I'm not going to lose strength there. It'll just be nice when I have the reverse hyper back. And I'd like to have one before I do my next meet. Right, I want to get at least a couple weeks of training on it. And I'm just going to keep this stuff quiet. People are like, well, I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm going to do quite a few meets. And I'm just going to keep them low-key. I'm just going to show up and do them. Do them in a couple different cities. That's how I'm going to do it. I've already got 3 meets picked out. And then I'll go do some high-level events again coming up. But I'm going to just kind of stick in the 220 at this point, 220 Masters 2. Get in and just be competitive. And if I lean out enough, and I'm going to keep working on getting leaner, maybe I can drop back down to the 198, snatch those records up. But I'm not that worried about it at the moment. I don't think the big water cuts are conducive to my health. And even with this last one, with the black mold situation, got medical advice to absolutely not try that water cut. So, is what it is. So we did 3 sets of 10 with the safety bar Good Mornings, and this isn't the heaviest I've done, obviously, for 10s. But I'm trying to focus on, once I get into the flow of it, trying to get a good range of motion, get a good burn on these, and I'm going to slowly add weight back up, just progressively overload, and, try to get within a couple reps of failure, a couple reps in reserve, and just push these. So I'm going to push the Good Mornings a lot. They've always done a lot for me. Same thing, on push belt squats. Glute ham raises, and then once I have the new reverse hyper, we'll roll with it. I gave my old one away because I was worried it was going to break when I bought my upgrade. I just thought I would have my upgrade by now. So it is what it is. But these 3 exercises are definitely enough, considering the volume of my speed work. Plus, again, as I'm adding things in, I'll be fine. People have to remember that when I've been discussing volumes lately. I've had some of my best games and I've been slightly lower volume phases of my assistance work or my accessory work. And that's the question we have to ask is, are we stimulating growth? Are we doing enough work to improve? If we are gaining muscle as advanced lifters, we are going to gain strength. We have to look at it from that perspective of, are we beating ourselves up? Are we driving ourselves into the ground? And it's simply not worth it. We can do conditioning. If you guys want to just do more and more work, you don't need to do it in the weight room. Do it under GPP, do conditioning, do sled work, prowler work, flip tires, weighted carries. get conditioning in, get in shape, get fit. That's going to be my game plan. I'm looking at all of this and saying, how much volume do I need to make progress? And again, realistically, I wasn't doing that much volume when I hit that 365 close grip bench. I mean, it was a moderate amount. It was just very focused, intense work. The only thing I was doing high volume on was the band press downs. Everything else was pretty moderate. So, we're taking that approach, and the same thing. I've hit really big squats and deadlifts while doing fairly moderate approaches. Hey, sorry about all that noise, guys. So we did 3 sets of good mornings, 3 sets of belt squats using my normal weight. I need to progress on both of these this next workout. And I finished up with a couple pairs of glute ham raises. I did 3 sets of these last time. And you know what? I started getting hamstring cramps. So I didn't want that today. I need to ease back into these. I got hamstring cramps later in the day, which is really not cool while I'm trying to unpack and move stuff and deal with things. Getting furniture delivered, a bit problematic, But yeah, I'm loving the new environment, loving the new garage gym. Everything's good. I have privacy in my life again. All right, and I'm going to keep it that way. Absolutely going to keep it that way. So that's how we finished off here. We did the 2 sets. But, again, how much is that? That's 5 sets for hamstrings and posterior chain. 3 sets of squatting movements after the maxes. That's enough to see growth. It's enough for me. I grow on stuff like that. So, again, second set here, we did, 10 reps on each one. Got a great pump in my hamstrings, felt everything stretch, contract, and they were challenging. Again, leaving a couple reps in reserve. That's the idea. So, volume is going to be a little more limited. And what I'm trying to do with most of these workouts, I'm trying to, be done in an hour. Right, including ramping up to maxes. When I'm setting up chains and bands, that can be a little longer on some of this stuff. But that's going to be the game plan. Kind of be in that lower end of the optimal hypertrophy range. Volume is going to be a little higher on the speed work. Right, I'm going to be trying to do more 5x5 on it. Do double maxes on the max effort days. And then we're going to do just enough hypertrophy work to grow. Keep everything growing. And again, I'm getting leaner still, I feel like, at this point. And I'll show that deadlift one more time for you guys. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.